Okay. First and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongeth to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahavakar Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that teach us truth well, and that continue to teach us truth well, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. This lesson is going to be about watching. We're supposed to be watching for the things that are happening, the signs, all the things. There's always, every single day, there's prophecies being played out. So it's for us to watch. It's for us to report on these things. That's our duty as men of the Lord. It's our duty to report on these things. Bear me just a minute. And it's also our duty to be out there and warn our people, because the true prophets, spare me just a minute, they were on the highways and byways. They were not hiding. They were not hiding in the woods where nobody sees them, in between the trees, where nobody sees you. They were out on the highways and byways. People saw them. Is there anything wrong with doing a video in the wilderness? No. But that's not the highways and byways. You can't say live camp, but you're in the middle of the forest and nobody can see you. Nobody at all. That's not a live camp. The scriptures say, "Cursed be he that doeth the work deceitfully." Bear me just a minute. So there's a lot of things going on. Armenia, you still got what? You still got anti-Pashinyan protests. All these different things are happening. You got Lavrov holding talks. You got the US Army testing artillery. Greece, the protests. All these things. Earthquakes. Pestilences in Yemen. Where was it? Volcano activity in Russia. Not just Russia, Italy. And another country as well. I forgot where it is. The Philippines. All these are signs. So we're supposed to be reporting on these things that are happening. Let's start on Isaiah 62. For Zion's sake, I will not hold my peace. We're not supposed to hold our peace. This is the duty of a watchman. And for Zion means monument. It's another word for Israel, to describe Israel. I will not hold my peace. So we're not supposed to hold our peace. We're not supposed to be quiet. And for Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest. So we're not, look, this is not our rest. The scriptures tell you that in Hebrews 4, that we labor to enter into our rest. Lest you fall into what? That spirit of unbelief. And a lot of men, they've already got that spirit of unbelief. Why? Because they're no longer out on the highways and byways. The scriptures say, be out on the highways and byways. Not hidden in some forest. So if you're not doing that, you're doing the work deceitfully. Point blank period. And that was something that was brought to my attention. At least be around where people can see you. Not hidden. Go to Isaiah 62. Until righteousness to get therefore go forth as brightness, until Yahweh comes, and the salvation thereof is a lamp that burneth. Jump straight to verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. And what is a watchman? A watchman's on a tower. He looks out. The prophets are also known as watchmen. Baba Kashar. The prophets are also known as watchmen. We're going to quickly go into that word. Nadzah.
Strong's H, 5341. Not sad.
So what does it mean in the outline biblical usage? To guard, to watch. So we're supposed to guard, we're supposed to watch. Watch over. So what are we guarding from? We're guarding our people, we're warning them. And in a watchtower, you would guard what? The town or the village, wherever it may be. You'd be what? Guarding it. For danger. To watch over, to keep, to watch, to guard, to keep, to preserve, to guard from dangers. to preserve, to guard from. So what are we? We're guarding our people from danger. We're warning them. We're blowing that trumpet. The scriptures talk about not giving an uncertain sound. We're blowing that trumpet. We're warning of our people what's about to happen. Martial law, riots, vaccines, RFID chip, and that's another thing. The vaccinations. Yesterday, I posted up a clip of in Madrid. They're now vaccinating your food. Crotchets. They were vaccinating some crotchets. This place is through. So every single day there's things going on that you can report on. Any article you see, bring it out, filter it through the scriptures. To observe, to guard with fidelity. So we're supposed to be guarding with what? Fidelity. With shrewdness. With fervency. The scriptures talk about, what is it in Peter's? Give full diligence to make your calling and election sure. So this is what we're supposed to do. To guard, to keep secret, to be kept close, to be blockaded. Watchmen, to be blockaded. Okay? So we're supposed to watch out, warn our people. To guard in good sense, to protect, to maintain, to obey. To obey, to observe. So what are we doing? We're observing what's going on. Okay? I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem's a people before it's a place that represents us, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. So the true prophets, they're not going to be holding their peace day nor night. They're going to be continually prophesying. Okay? Day nor night. We're not supposed to be holding our peace. So that means all throughout the day and even at night, you're supposed to be what? Publishing the prophecies, publishing the things you see, publishing this word, doing your videos, doing your lessons. Ye that make mention of the Lord Yahushua, keep not silence. So we're not supposed to be keeping silence. If anybody's telling you otherwise, guess what? They're drawing you down to the wrong path, the path of destruction. We're not supposed to keep our silence and give him no rest. So the Lord wants us to give him no rest. Okay? He wants us to keep on praying, keep on doing these videos. It does matter. It does matter. The video, that's just a portion of what we do. You don't see the other things, the other work, the labors we put into this truth. But it's an important portion of what we put into the truth. So all these things, it comes together. Till he establish and till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. So we want to do this until Yahushua sets us up and makes us a praise in the earth. We can't stop. And the Lord commands his men to be out on the highways and byways. Bear me just a minute. We're going to quickly go into that. Man, and the scriptures say that the Lord has given some over to a reprobate, to say you don't need to go out on the highways and byways. That's a reprobate mind. That means you don't fear Yahushua. Because the elder apostles, they're not in the forest. They're not in the woods. The elder apostles of Great Millstone. They're on the highways and byways. Where cars are passing by, where there's traffic. Where people are passing by. Where you see roads. That's the highways and byways. Okay? Bear me just a minute. So this, go to Proverbs. Bear me just a minute. 1:20. Wisdom crieth without. Okay? She uttereth her voice in the streets. So it's letting you know. It says the streets. It doesn't say the forest. It doesn't say the woods. It doesn't say the park. Your neighborhood park. Okay? It says out on the streets. So where are we commanded to be? Out on the streets. Okay? Is there anything wrong with doing lessons in the elements and so forth? No. But that is not a live camp. That's just you doing videos in your spare time in the wood. That's all that is. The highways and byways, that's doing the work. That's actually doing the work on the highways and byways where there's people walking past, trading, buying, selling, where there's traffic. Nobody can say, how is anybody going to see you if you're just hidden in the woods? Because a man's argument, he may say, well, it's on the internet, we're publishing it. Okay, yeah. But what does the scripture say? What was commanded? Let's read this again. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse. So where's the chief place of concourse? Okay, the chief place of concourse is the agoras, the marketplaces. So why ain't men going out, no longer going out into the highways and byways? That's what you need to ask yourself. In the opening of the gates. Okay, there's a load of these sillies. What did they have at these towns? They have what openings of the gates. You have the train station and you have the gates. Okay, to the city or to the town. In the city she uttereth her words. See, and it even says in the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long will ye simple ones? Will ye love simplicity? Because our people, they delight in being simple. And will ye love simplicity? And scorners delight in rare scorning. And fools hate knowledge. Our people, what? They hate knowledge. They don't delight in knowledge. They hate it. They despise it. Okay? And part of hating knowledge, the scriptures told us to be in the chief place of concourse. Where's the chief place of concourse? Bear me just a minute. Because this is not a joke, it's serious. And I might have to bring it. Well, I am doing that, bringing it to certain men's attention, because that's not right. That's not right. You need to question that. Okay. And when you go into that word concourse, a binding together, concourse, where people talk, where people meet. Okay. Not in the middle of nowhere, not hiding in the forest. What's that about? Yahushua did not say that. He talked about bidding what? Them to the marriage. Bear me just a minute. And let's quickly go into that word. Bear me just a minute. Right. Because if you're not, the scriptures say present your body as a living sacrifice and also be out there. So if you're not willing to do that and put yourself out there, that means what? Are you ashamed of the gospel? Let me just a minute. So let's quickly go to Matthew 22 and 9. Am I on the right one? Yep. It's Matthew 22 and see, this is Matthew 22 and 9. It says, go ye therefore into the highways. And what's on the highways? People, cars, traffic. You see people passing by. And as many, it doesn't say the woods. It doesn't say the woods or the forest. And as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. Because this is what we want. We're trying to bid our people to the marriage, the elect. That's the ones who are bidding to the marriage. Okay? And what's the marriage? Who's the bride? Yahushua. Okay? And bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways. Okay? It says highways. It didn't say forest. Okay? And gathered together all as many as they found. Both bad and good. So when you come to this truth, when you're fishing, you're going to have bad fish and good fish. You're going to get all types. You're going to get some crabs. You're going to get some lobsters. Chuck that back into the sea. Okay? Some catfish. Chuck that back into the sea. Some sharks. Chuck that back into the sea. You're going to get all types. Okay? So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together as many as found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see those guests, he saw there a man which not had on a wedding garment. Okay. And he saith unto him, and so everybody else had a garment on, but he didn't have a wedding garment. So obviously he looked out of place. Okay. And the king came in to see the guests, and saw a man which had not his wedding garment. And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Okay. It says that he was speechless, had nothing to say. Okay. That's why we want to make sure we're doing this right. Remember what the scriptures say, there's a way that seemeth right to a man, but the way leads unto death. If you're teaching people, that's a wicked spirit. That's a wicked spirit. If you're teaching people, they don't need to be on fire for the truth. Okay, they could be lukewarm. They don't need to go out onto the highways and byways. You know, that's a deceitful spirit. That's a deceitful spirit. And really, this should be brought to the elder apostles' attention as well. This is Jeremiah 48:10. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully. Okay, so if you're not out on the highways and byways, and you're hiding when nobody can see, you're doing the work deceitfully. Okay, why? Because the scripture said, this is not me saying it, it's the scripture said, and this is not personal. Okay, so cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord Yahushua deceitfully. You're doing the work deceitfully. Okay, you're doing it treacherously. Why? Because you obviously don't fear Yahushua. Bear me just a minute. Let's quickly go into that word. Sloth. Let me go into that word sloth as well. Look what comes up. Sloth. Ramaya, deceit.
Strong's H, 7423. Remiyah. Remiyah.
Remiyah, laxness, slackness, slackening, deceit, treachery. So, first of all, when you're slothful, this is what it means. Your laxness, you're slackening your deceit, treachery. So if you're slothful, first of all, you're not going to want to do the work. And second of all, you're definitely not going to be out on the highways and byways because you're slothful, you're deceitful, you're false, you're guile, and you're slack. Remiss, deceit. So you're doing the work deceitfully. Indolence, relaxing of hands. Okay, slack, remiss, negligently, idle. A deceitful bow, one who shoots untruly. And this is the spirit because we've been going into what? Watchmen. The deceptive archers who deceive by false flight. So if you're telling others that they don't need to be out on the highways and byways, they don't need to be on fire for the truth, you're shooting them bows deceitfully. I don't know. You know, you may be you may have a spirit on you, or you just may be paid, man. You know, you may be paid off, you may be compromised, but everything's going to reveal itself in time. Or you may be under orders, I don't know, under Esau or somebody. And Yahushua, over time, if you're a man of the Lord and you're amongst someone that's not really as sincere about this truth, Yahushua is going to get you out of there. He may even have it where you're teaching by yourself, but everything's according to the Spirit. So this is Jeremiah 48:10, and it says, Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully. Okay, and cursed be he that keepeth his sword back, keep back his sword from blood. So what's your sword? The sword is the scriptures. So if you're keeping your sword back from blood, that means you're not bringing out the whole truth. You're only bringing out some bits that suit you. And doing the work of the Lord deceitfully is not going out onto the highways and byways. You're being deceitful, whether you know it or not. And if you heard this truth and you've been doing it, well, now you know. Okay? You at least want to be in a proximity where people can see you, where you're present. Not hiding in some damn woods looking bugged out. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go to Revelations. So lucky I have to get it up on this because some pages are missing in the scriptures. So this Revelation 16:15. Behold, I come as a thief. So Yahushua is coming as a thief unexpectedly. And when Yahushua comes, you want to make sure you are doing the right thing. You wasn't doing the work of the Lord Yahushua deceitfully. Blessed is he that watcheth. That's why we have to watch. What we watching for? The signs. And keepeth his garments. Okay, the garments is what part is this truth. The wisdom, the knowledge and understanding. Lest he walk naked. Without this truth, what you're naked. You're out there. Everybody was able to see your shame. And they shall see his shame. Okay, because if you don't have this truth, what people see your shame. Your nakedness. You're exposed. Okay. And part of that shame is, again, not being out on the highways and byways. Like I said, nothing's wrong. You want to do a sit down or a lesson in the wilderness or the forest, nothing's wrong with that. But that's not a camp. That's not a live camp at all. This is 2 Ezra 16. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria, and woe means destruction. Gird up yourselves with clothes of sack. Okay, that goes into sackcloth and hair. And bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Excuse me. So this represents what? Mourning. Coming into a time of great mourning. Verse 3, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? So that sword is being sent. Okay? And who may turn it back? That's destruction. And who's going to be able to turn back that sword? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Okay? So what's that fire? Okay? These wildfires. You had them in Australia, what, 2020? Okay? And you got more fires. Okay? You can also equate that to what, the volcanoes. And who's going to quench it? Can Esau, is he going to pour some water over that volcano? So in other words, who can put it out? And these are rhetorical Christians. This is verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you. And what is he that may drive them away? So these plagues are being sent. And who's going to be able to drive them away? Okay? And the plagues are what? Different forms of destruction. And you can also equate that to this COVID-19. May any man drive away an hungry lion in the woods. Okay? So these are all rhetorical questions. Are you going to, if a lion's hungry, are you going to be able to just push it out of the way? Drive it away. Go, go, shoo, shoo. The answer is no. Or may anyone quench the fire in a stubble? Okay? In other words, put it out when it have begun to burn. No, because it's going to spread. And that's another thing on the news. You still got wildfires going on. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. Okay, and that arrow's going to represent what? They're missiles. Okay, that are shooting in different parts of the earth. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. So it lets you know who's sending this, Yahushua. And who is he that can drive them away? So who's going to drive away these plagues? A fire shall go forth from his wrath. And who is he that may quench it? Okay. So Lord, what, it's going to send out fire. And who's going to quench it? Who's going to pull it out? And that fire is also from what? Them laser beams from the chariots, which we're seeing more sightings of chariots. Okay. A fire shall go forth from his wrath. And who is he that may quench it? So who's going to be able to quench this fire? Okay. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? So he's going to cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? Okay. He lightnings, sparks, tempests. He shall find it, and who shall not be afraid? Because you hear that lightning when it strikes, people screaming, people getting shook up. Okay, so people fear when they hear these things, and these are all the works of Yahushua. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. Okay, these volcanoes, the landslides. Okay, because that's all energy. The sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. The fishes thereof also before the Lord Yahushua, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. Okay. And his arrows that he shooteth are sharp. And these arrows are going into what? The missiles are going to be shot by these different nations. Iran, Russia. Okay. Syria. the US, which is Babylon, formerly known as America. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp. It's referring to the missiles, and it has a sharp point at the end of it. And shall not miss. So them missiles, they're not going to miss. They're going to go straight to their destination. And they got GPS systems on them as well. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So these missiles, they're going to be shot in different parts of this world. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again. So once these plagues, these calamities are sent out, they're not going to return back until they come upon the earth. The fight is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. So there's going to be more fire. Like as an arrow which is shot of the mighty archer, return if not backwards. Okay, so once that arrow is shot, it's not going to return backwards. It's going to go straight to its destination. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. So these plagues that are sent, they're not going to return back. These plagues that you see that are sent, they're not going to return back. Okay. Woe is me, woe is me. This was Ezra speaking. Who will deliver me in those days? Ezra's wanting to know. Was he going to be looked after? Was he going to have that hedge? And this shows you that reincarnation exists. This shows you that Ezra's back here today. Okay. And he ain't going to be hiding in the woods. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Okay. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. So these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay. It's just starting the things we see. The vaccinations. The grinding season, as it mentioned in Ecclesiastes 12. All these shops shutting down. All these businesses, the shutters. It's very silent out here. And great mournings. And beginning of famine and great death. So this is the beginning of famine. This is just the beginning of famine. Okay. And great death. Okay. And this is what these people don't realize. These people they're scoffing, they're scorning, they're laughing. But when this calamity happens, we're going to be the same ones they're looking for. The same ones they're asking for. So don't worry about these scoffers. Let these people scoff, scorn, laugh, talk shit. But they're going to realize, okay, when all hell breaks loose, because they haven't seen nothing yet, people, they can still go shops. They can still get their delicacies, their wine. Okay. They can still listen to music and all that rubbish. They still have access to hot water, this and that. You know, fridge. They can still. So when the store starts closing, and the food starts getting rationed, that's when you're gonna see these people and their true colors, who they really are. The elect, we already see these people true colors, but you're already gonna see that true demonic side of them come out. Scriptures say for every idle word they shall give an account. Okay. And the power shall stand in fear. So like at the beginning of famine. Okay. And great death. So scriptures talk about famine. Okay. And great death and famine causes death. Okay. So how is famine going to come to pass? By Esau isolating the food. People ransacking the stores. So what happens when the trucks stop bringing in food? What's going to happen? What's going to happen when the markets get ransacked, no more food, and the trucks stop performing food, and there's a lockdown? What's going to happen? People are going to get hungry, and what's it going to lead them to do? Kill. What, for survival? So this is what people don't realize. Everything's a joke. Everything's funny. It's what these people don't realize. Behold, famine. So like, and the beginning of war. So these are the beginning of wars. Okay. And the power shall stand in fear, which represents Esau and his armies, in the beginning of evils. What should I do when these evils shall come? Okay. So this is what was asked. What shall he do when these evils shall come? This is what Ezra wanted to know. Behold, famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish, suffering, pain are sent as scourges for amendment Okay, so when you're scourged, what you're beaten for amendment to get right, as punishment to get right. But all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So even though these things are happening, people are still not going to be mindful. They're going to see famine, they're going to see death, and they're still not going to be because it's not going to come to mind. Why? Because they weren't given an understanding to know why these things were happening. Bear me just a minute. Let's go to Isaiah. So let's get Isaiah 9 and 19. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened. Okay? And the people shall be as few of a fire. Because the angels, they're going to make their presence known. And they're going to be zapping as well. Zapping buildings, zapping people. No man shall spare his brother. So it's letting us know what time you are in. It says no man's going to spare his brother. Okay? It says the love of many is going to wax cold in Matthew 24 and 14. So people are going to be turning on each other. Okay? Check the time. He shall snatch on the right hand. And it says snatch. You snatch, you're grabbing something quick. Okay? And be hungry. Okay? Why? Because there's not going to be enough food to sustain people's their large appetite. And that's why we practice fasting. We practice these things. Discipline. And he shall eat on the left hand and shall not be satisfied. Okay? We shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. So it says he's going to grab on the right and eat on the left. That's a sign of not wanting to share your food, because there's going to be a scarcity of food. And it says they shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. So that's cannibalism in the scriptures. And this is the punishment of the wicked of our people. And this is what they don't realize. That's why we're warning our people. They think it's a joke now, but this is what's going to happen. This is Lamentations 4 and 8. Okay. Their visage is blacker than a coal. What's someone's visage? Their image, their apparel. Okay. Their complexion. Bear me just a minute. Okay. Yep. Their resemblance, visage, their resemblance, their countenance, their resemblance to art. Okay? Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets, because once you haven't ate for a long time, your appearance changes. Your famine, you start to waste away. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. If your skin's cleaving to your bones, it's just about hanging on. It is withered. It has become like a stick. So you see these sticks right now, the little sticks. That's how people are going to be likened unto sticks. You could just snap it. That's how frail they are. It is withered. Okay, it has become like a stick. Okay, so this is the state of what happens when what you haven't ate for a long time. They that be slain with a sword are better than they be slain with hunger. So it'd be better to just die from any other cause than to be slain by hunger. A slow death. A slow death. For these pine away. Pine away is other word, waste away. Stricken through want of the fruits of the field. So these are those that pine away through stricken through want of the fruit of the food. Through what? Through need of what food? There's going to be people that are pining away, dying because they haven't ate. And the men of the Lord are going to live to see these things. And you can't be emotional. There's going to be, maybe your family members could be, maybe people you knew in the world, you're going to see them starving. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. Sodom means boil their own children. This happened all throughout. There's been different times. World War I, World War II. The besiegement of Jerusalem. It tells you that. Read Deuteronomy 28 and I think it's 60, somewhere 68. It tells you about what happened in the besiegement. So the hands of the pitiful women. And it says pitiful, merciful women. Because you know women, they're very sensitive. So for a woman to boil their own children, that must have been a desperate measure. Have sodden their own children. They were the meat is food in the destruction of the daughter of my people. That's why you have to fear Yahweh Shai, because these things to come, that's going to be the judgment to most of our people and the people out in this world. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall desire goes into covet, earnestly try, needful to go into a city, and shall not be able to. So why is a man going to try to get into another city? Okay, why is he going to try? Could be a loved one, could be daughter, could be a loved one he's looking after, could be some food, could be something he's got, could be a possession he's got, merchandise. So a man's going to desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because it's going to be lockdowns. You ain't seen nothing yet. There's going to be road lockdowns. There's going to be barricades. And that's martial law. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Because of the pride of these cities. Okay, the city shall be troubled. Troubled with what? Rioting. Okay. Anarchy, and the houses shall be destroyed. So people are going to be pillaging houses. And men shall be afraid. Okay, grown-ass men are going to be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. So we're coming into the time where the love of many is going to wax cold, and they're going to have mercy upon in each other. They're going to be looking for you. You got food? They're going to be looking for the food you have. This is what people don't understand. This is why this is not a joke. But should destroy their houses. So these people, you know, the neighbors and all that, they're going to be the first one at each other's necks. But shall destroy their houses with the sword, which represents any type of weapon. Could be a gun, could be a knife. Because people still have guns in the UK, believe it or not. And knives. I'm sure you got a kitchen knife. Okay? And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. Which means take their goods because of the lack of bread. What goods? Bread represents goods, food. And for great tribulation, and this tribulation is coming upon the earth. This is what we're warning our people about. It's Jeremiah 13. We're going to shut off on this in 5. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. So we're approaching the time where there's going to be great fear upon this earth. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Okay, so grown men, like, it doesn't mean a grown man was pregnant. Grown man had his hands on his loins in agony, weeping, not knowing what's about to happen. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, his mid-region, as a woman in travail, in pain, in labour pain, and all faces turned into paleness out of fright. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. None other time what I'm describing is going to be like this. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Why? Because there's going to be calamity after calamity. There's going to be rioting. There's going to be wild beast. There's going to be all types of plagues which I've read in here. Starvation, famine. There's going to be fighting everywhere. There's going to be fires lit. Women are going to be getting raped by martial law troops. You think they're going to care about your woman? All these things, all these different things are going to be happening. Martial law, people getting beheaded, all types of stuff going to be happening. Okay? All at one moment. That's why it says it shall be a time that never been before. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. And what does that entail? The R5D chip, which is going to come to test the whole world. But he shall be saved out of it. Only a remnant is going to be saved, as it mentions in Daniel 12. Okay, 144,000 men, women, and children. So with this lesson, I really hope this was edifying. On to the next time. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.